What's going on, everybody? Super Saiyan Paul here, back at it again. Today I am joined by the one, the only, Unreal Entertainment Gaming.
What's going on, everybody?
Today we're going to be talking about Frieza's role in the upcoming Tournament of Power, and what exactly you think he's going to get in return for him and his services in this fight, and how will he fare up against the enemies in the other universes as well.
Well, I gotta say, personally, thank you so much for having me back on the channel, and having to see Frieza in the Tournament of Power is, I think, great fan service, considering the fact that many people have wanted him to be on the team for quite some time, and fans within the fandom have been, on and off about this, but I think that it's a great representation in seeing him there. In terms of a motive, I think that Frieza, looking at his character, he has lots of history with everyone there, with Krillin, with Piccolo, with Goku and Vegeta and Gohan. Other than the androids, because I don't think Frieza has ever met the androids before, it's going to be an interesting turn of events to see how he operates with such characters. But I think that coming up in the episode 93, in case you guys don't know about the spoilers, I personally cannot wait to see the offering that Goku has, because based on the translations, we know that Goku requests Baba to go ahead and bring back Frieza for only 24 hours. And since he already is dead, one can only assume how he's going to be using his golden form in the tournament and stuff. But I just think that it's a great fan service to see him finally be working alongside Goku and Vegeta, people that he hates and despises. And I'm just really curious to see how he operates during this whole tournament, because he is going to fight people way stronger than him. But I think my overall thoughts on this is the fact that his motives might be for him to wish, be brought back to life, have a wish be brought upon him to where he might have immortality, because he's been seeking immortality ever since the Namek saga. And I think that what better gift for him than to offer his services in exchange. He, either A, wants his life back, or B, immortality. But what do you think his motives are and his purpose in this tournament? Because I can't ever see him agreeing unless he really wants something in return, and I mean like something on a really massive scale. So what do you think?
I mean, with the ability to get whatever you want as a wish, his motive has to be probably most likely just getting his life back, because the fact of the matter is he's dead. He wanted immortality. I don't know if you're going to be able to get your life back plus immortality.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man.
I don't know if you can actually wish for a 2-in-1 there, but the fact that he might turn into a good guy in this arc and finally join the side of the Z Warriors after all of these years, and that being one of the longest fights in anime history with Goku versus Frieza.
Yeah, 4+ hours, man.
Yeah, we finally get to see like a change in his character, and this also adds more to the Resurrection F arc as well, since everybody's wondering, why would they bring back Frieza? Out of everybody, why bring back Frieza?
Well, he is one of the most synonymous villains, and I think based on numbers, he's been brought back 6 times already, so he's kind of synonymous with Toriyama's original work, and having to see him prominently be featured as one of like the high arc villains in Dragon Ball, I think it makes sense. But you just said something about, having character development. I think that for a lot of people, they are really curious if Frieza's gonna have, somewhat of a, revelation to where he becomes a good guy. I am opposed to that idea. I think that Frieza should not ever be redeemed, and I think that, Frieza being Frieza, he should do something very sneaky in this tournament to where he kind of turns on Goku in a way, even though, I mean, if he does, he's gonna, jeopardize himself being erased. And I think that once that offer is made, it's unknown whether or not he cares about that at this point, because since his pride has been shattered by him coming back in his golden form and having to be killed off, and then having to suffer the defeat by Trunks and Goku and stuff on Namek and whatever, he suffered a great defeat in his pride. So I don't think that he's gonna care too much even about being erased. But I think that Beerus is gonna offer something, or at least tell him like straight up, like, yo, if you don't do as we say, perhaps maybe the repercussions are going to be greater. So Frieza as a character, it's undoubtable that he is strong. He is very strong. But it's just going to be an interesting setting to see him fight someone like Hit or Jiren, or even, come across the other Saiyans from universe number 6, that being Khalifa, Kale, and Kaba. But what I wanted to ask you was, how much of a support character do you think he's going to be in terms of offering his services going up against the other characters? Because I think that he is going to be a formidable ally, but do you see him lasting long, or do you see him getting shit-canned early? Well, what do you think?
Depends on a lot of things, but one of the things that you mentioned there is if he's going to be a liability on the battlefield. The fact that we have Beerus to probably keep this guy in line is what we can really count on to have him not turn on Goku midway.
Right.
Because imagine Goku's weak and all of a sudden, like on the sidelines, like Frieza goes for the kill or something to drag him down.
Or what about if he tries to save him? Because, I mean, even though for a lot of fans, you would never even imagine Frieza trying to save someone. But do you think that's a possibility in the fact that you have to work as a team?
That would be the ultimate character development for this character. Because the thing is, the amount of humiliation Goku has put this character through is insane. And if he does that and redeems himself, that means that Goku's really redeemed a lot of his enemies. Like Boo is redeemed in a way. Android 16 was redeemed.
Which is why I disagree with you, which is why I think that Frieza should not be redeemed, because so far, Vegeta, King Piccolo, Majin Buu, 16, a lot of them have been redeemed as good characters, and I think the only probable ones left are Kid Buu, Cell, and Frieza. So I think that Frieza should not be redeemed just because of his nature. His overall character is irredeemable, I think, in all of the mass genocide he's done, and all of the horrible things he's done. Yes, Vegeta has done the same thing alongside Buu, but Frieza has always been synonymous with being Frieza because of his actions. And I would have to disagree in saying they should allow him to be a team player up until a point where he sees an opportunity to throw Goku out. But then again, in the beginning of this tournament, I can see something very funny happening in the idea that since Bergamo already called out Goku for being the enemy of the universes, I can see everyone trying to gang up on Goku first, and Frieza having a laugh and saying, haha, I hated him first, now you all hate him too, like, isn't that ironic? So, I mean, but in terms of once Frieza goes into his golden form, do you think that he's going to stand a chance against Toppo, or maybe even Hit, or, characters of that nature, or do you think it's going to be like a one-hitter quitter?
Maybe not as high as Hit, but at the same time, he's one of the most viable candidates. The fact of the matter is that he's stronger than, like, half of the team at least, right? He's stronger than the androids. He's stronger.
Well,
well, 17 got a weird buff.
That's what I was going to say, like, 17, he's been able to contest with Blue Goku momentarily. And that's present Blue Goku, not ROF Goku, so that says a lot. But in terms of like scaling, it's between, because obviously I think it's Goku, then it's Vegeta, then taking that number 3 spot is going to be between Frieza and Ultimate Gohan, because I think that as strong as 17 is, he might come in probably close 4th. But, logically speaking here, I think it should be Golden Frieza, but then again, people argue Gohan. But I also wanted to know, like, in terms of representation, because you said you don't think that Frieza is going to be able to handle Hit, correct?
Not Hit, but at least maybe most of the other enemies. I think he could hold his ground, unless he's been training while he was dead, if that's possible.
That's not possible. I don't think so. He's probably going to be in that pod.
Most likely. But at the same time, going back to what you said about him being a team player, see, the way this would function as a team type of thing is like them like having like co-op fights like they did in the Goku Black Arc. Remember the 2v2s? Zamasu versus Goku Vegeta? I don't know if that fits Frieza's character at all, because he's always been more of the lone wolf type of character. He never really worked with the team. And the fact is, even with his own father, I don't think they had a good relationship. Even his father was acting like a little bit of a snake too. It's not like in his character and his race to work as a team. Yeah,
he appeals to be that of a snake. I mean, we even saw that with Frost in the latest episode, where he attacked Hit, and then Hit was like, if it wasn't for this offer, I'd kill you. But the fact of the matter stands that his type of people, his species, represent that of a snake. Like, he's very deceptive. Do I think that he's gonna work with Goku? I think so. I think momentarily we're gonna see shots of Frieza and Goku working together, and I think that if you go back to RLF, Goku even admitted in saying, if you weren't so, deceptive, and if you weren't so evil, you would have made the perfect sparring partner. I think people forgot about that when Goku told him, like, you would have been the perfect sparring partner for me, and, here we are now. It was like a red herring. It's like, now they brought him back. So, but what about, like, what do you think about, like, Frieza having to be eliminated early, or do you think he's going to last long, in your opinion, now that he's dead? And I don't think that maybe the golden form that he has is going to take as much away from his body, but how long do you think he's going to last here, do you think?
See, that's the funny part. I think he's going to last quite a long time. If he gets knocked out right away, that is a waste of a character. To have something to be built up upon what they already had, like Krillin getting a buff and all these other characters, Frieza needs some time to shine. He needs to be able to show his prowess, and it'll be pretty epic to see him like redeem himself by saving someone in the midst of battle.
I think that you're right. I think that overall, I'm really curious to see Frieza's reaction upon seeing Kabe Kale and Khalifa, because I can see him saying, oh look, the monkeys are alive in another universe. Like I can see him like just totally blowing a fuse and you know, seeing his reaction upon seeing the Saiyans. But I think that he will provide support. I think, in my opinion, and again, you guys can go ahead and comment if you guys differ, I think that in my opinion, Frieza is going to be very deceptive. He may put on the face of, you know, being proud and just and working alongside his team, but I think that down the line, he's definitely going to find an opportunity to strike Goku again, or even Vegeta, you know, for what happened, because I don't see him pretty much letting this go. But I think his motive here will be getting either his life back or possibly immortality. Granted, they may or may not trick him into actually doing this. They might lie and saying, yeah, we'll give you immortality, and then when they win, they may not. But it's really hard to say at this point, because number one, I do stand by the idea that he should not be redeemed for everything he's done so far. And number two, I think that based on the traits that we've seen from Frieza, he should prove to be a worthy adversary for the others and a formidable ally for his teammates. But overall, I think that he won't last long against, you know, someone like, you know, Jiren, who is supposed to be incredibly powerful. Same thing with Hit. If Hit's able to time skip, I think Frieza's done for. But just my final thoughts on this are the idea that his motive may be life or just being left alone with eternity, you know, having to have immortality be retained to him. But I think that by the end of this, it's going to be an interesting turn of events, because he's going to be there for 24 hours, so I'm curious to see what they're going to do.
I also agree with you there, as well as the fact that I think this was probably the best character for them to add to the team, because he's the wild card. We don't know what's going to happen with him. We don't know what his real motives are. We don't know what exactly is going to go down during the midst of battle, and that's the exciting part. It keeps you watching, and you're going to want to see what's going to go on with Frieza more than any other character on this team.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyway, you guys make sure you guys comment below, tell us what you guys think in the comment section, as well as like the video and subscribe. Make sure you guys turn on notification, and we'll see you guys next time.
Take it easy, guys.
Bye.